In this lesson, we'll add the finishing touches to our stair detail. Alright, so back to our list here. We are at a point now where we can do some finalized cleanup on our drawing, but we also want to make sure that we add our dimensions. And dimensions I want to add and make sure that I call out are these dimensions here. These are, a lot of the times, this is what the plan inspectors or plan reviews are actually looking for. So we're going to make sure we make their job a little easier, and we're going to call those dimensions out. So let's jump back down to our project and let's start getting that accomplished. But let's clean up some line work. I can see I accidentally erased some line work here. So I'm really quickly just going to copy this over so we can get a nice quality for our detail here. Drag this over up just a bit. Actually, you know what? We should have just copied that element. So we'll copy, grab at this point, and we'll place like that. I'm just going to trim this off really quick. And then we'll extend this on to our break line. So we'll grab this one. Do the same thing for this one. And then we'll use our break line to trim this out. So we'll go trim. Alright, there we go. That's taken care of. I think I saw some stuff down here I can actually trim out. So we'll trim out this stuff, as well as stuff down here. So I'll go trim. Alright, so that reads a lot better, looks a lot cleaner. Probably stand to bring this little line here, this end point there. So, alright, so here we are. So now we can actually start adding some dimensions to this. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the right layer. So we'll go to text and nano. And we're going to add some dimensions. So we definitely want to get our rise and run in place. So we'll go rise. And our run. And these are a little bit larger than that 12 inches, but as long as we're more than 11, we're good. 11 is the minimum, but that ½ inch comes from that angle we have here. So we have our rise and run. We need to get the thickness of our rail. Make sure it's graspable according to code standards. I need to get the height of this rail system as well. So I'm going to go the line. I'm going to draw the line because it's going to be really hard to get the dimension on this angle here. So I'm going to go from my nose here to there. I'm simply going to trim that end piece off. And then we'll add that dimension. So from here to there should be 3 feet, like so. And I'm going to do the same thing up here as well. Since technically this is another set of stairs, we want to make sure that we show that this is also code compliant. So again, I'm going to go with my line. And we'll bring it right up, do some trimming. Add a dimension. And there's that one. Now let's get our extensions as well. So we'll go there. We want to make sure we show that these are 12-inch extensions at the end. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. But when I'm measuring this one, I need to go from this point all the way to, I believe it's the nose here. So we'll actually line up with this line. So let's grab that dimension. We'll go from this point to this point. Should be a foot, and it is. So that'll show our extension there as well on bottom. So now we can add one more dimension I'd like to add here. And that's going to be for our landing. So we'll go ahead and add that too. So now that we have things cleaned up a bit, dimensions added, we could maybe want to reinforce some of our graphics here with maybe some multi-leaders or some text. So I'm going to go with a multi-leader, and I want to call out some of the materials or maybe some of the connections in here. So let's say we want to call out the material for our handrails. I'm going to do that, turn off my ortho. And the key is to be consistent with my angles. So from here on out, I'm going to make sure that I'm maintaining that angle. So we can And you may have a special name for the design, but for this simple example, I'm just going to go with a steel tube. And what I want to do is I want to adjust the size of this. So we'll go to its properties. And I want it to be legible, so we'll go 2 inches here for its arrowhead size. And then we're going to go with the text height for 2 inches. And that should give us a good size. And if not, we can always make more adjustments. Let's go ahead and do that for 3. I want that to read really well. So we'll go back, go from 2 to 3. Here we'll go from 2 to 3. Perfect. I like that a lot better. So now I'm going to get that one, and I'm going to copy this so that I can use this size that we just created over and over again as many times as we need in our drawing. So I'm going to do this, and we'll go with stairs. Yep. S-T-A-I-R-S. There we go. Now I could just copy this and use it wherever I need to, really, and then just change the text in the box. So we wanted to call out maybe the glass material. I can do that here. And we can go 1/4 inch glass panel. Replace that steel tube with glass panel. Maybe we want to call out that connection piece down there. We can copy this and call this out as well. I want to say this one is welded angle iron, something generic. Again, it's a real simple example, but you may have different way you explain your detail here, but the principle is the same. So we have all our key dimensions. We've even called out some of the material we have here. This is basically the process you can go through to create a stair detail in AutoCAD. The key is making sure you follow code. You'll always have a range of dimensions, and so you'll have a little bit of flexibility. But the good thing is it gives you a guide and it tells you exactly what you got to do. So this is kind of a basic example, good example of how to create a stair detail that's code compliant and really easy to do, using some copy, pasting, and mirroring tricks to speed along your work. So I hope you learned something from this one. I enjoyed creating this with you and walking through the process, and I look forward to doing more work with you in CAD in future courses.